think we are live. Welcome everybody back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your host, Rattlesnake, coming at you live once again from the Snake Pit here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Not joined by my co-host for this episode, but I do have a guest, David, half of the crew from Fascar Living. What up, David?
What's up? Yep. So I'm half of Fascar, you're half of Chairgatin, so we make a whole, I guess, by the end of this.
Yeah, that's right.
Pardon the digs. This isn't the house. This is actually a hotel I'm staying in at the moment.
No, he always designs interior designer like a serial killer. That's what he's doing.
My po birds back here. Don't send them out to you. I got you.
All right. Well, we're gonna get right into it. Let's do it.
All righty.
What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello. Come right in.
Rock, flag, and eagle. All right. What up? It says, what up, ese? Hey, orale, Holmes.
Orale. There we go. Now I feel cool.
Nice. Yeah, we got to get you a pair of Yeats, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally don't wear shades inside, although I know I look really cool with them on, but I do it because we are brought to you by Yeats.
Awesome.
10% off discount code Chairgatin at yeatsofficial.com. Actually, that pair is the Dalton Good. I call it the Dalton Good Special. I hope that they rename it on their website, but I don't think they will.
I'm going to have to get a pair. I've already cracked these, so
after well, are you going to be in Dega?
We will not be at Dega this year. We went to Dega last year.
Oh, dude. What do you mean this year or last year? How far do you live from Dega?
Dega by bus. So we do actually have a school bus that we built.
That's right. Okay. We're going to get into all that. I asked, what are we going to talk about? You weren't even like, oh, we should probably discuss the fact that we take a bus to every race. Like, holy shit.
It's like, it's one of those things like, you always had the backpack when you went to school and you just got used to it. You forgot you had it. That's how the bus is. It's just 20 times bigger.
All right. We're going to talk about that. I added it to our agenda for the night for the episode. Anyway. Yeah. Welcome, David. Do you want to kind of give a rundown of what Fascar is real quick before we get into Bristol?
Yeah, sure. So Fascar Living, me and my buddy Andy, we have.
By the way, this is not a Bud Light for anyone that's worried. We won't. Do not cancel me. I'm drinking a Miller Lite. I promise.
Shame.
They just went woke another couple years before this.
We did find out at Bristol that if you give the golf cart driver Coors Light, that he will pause the golf cart long enough for you to yell at the driver. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want people throwing cans at people, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, this is only a Miller because I drink the Coors. I'm a Coors guy. Coors and Modelo. That's my my go-tos.
I'm a Busch Latte guy. Busch Latte kind of guy.
The Bud Light turns the freaking frogs gay.
Oh my
goodness. That's a great comment.
But yeah, so Fascar Living, me and my buddy Andy, we've been going to races for a while. We had a full group of 4 of us, and we used to go to the All-Star race until it moved out of Charlotte. And then we started camping when we went to the Charlotte races when it went to the Roval. Little tow behind camper that Andy had, and it was horrible. He ended up getting an RV later, and it was bigger, but still, if you've ever looked at a bathroom in a tow behind or any kind of RV, the thing is like this wide.
Yeah.
And I'm 6'4", 340. So it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like a bathroom on a boat.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the worst place to use a restroom.
Yeah, like literally, like I'm opening the shower door, sticking one leg in there just so I have enough room. It was not fun. But we went to Daytona. This would be 2 years ago now. We went to Daytona. We're sitting there. And in Atlanta the year before, we were like, we need to just buy a bus and remodel it and stuff. And so we're sitting here at this Daytona race. And, I mean, we had a couple Busch Lattes. It's the end of the night. And we're just like, screw it. We're going to do it. And so we literally started looking at buses that night. And we bought the bus. And so we're like, let's make a social media thing about the bus and going to these races. So that's what we did. We went up to West Virginia. We bought the bus. It was about $7,000. Drove up there in a rental car, picked it up, came back, and
You were
got
able to
it.
drive it back, or did you have to like work on it?
Nope, drove it straight back. It was actually in immaculate condition for a school bus with over 100,000 miles.
Damn.
It was West Virginia, and they keep, I'm talking about a novel of everything they've done to the bus. Panels they've replaced because of rust. Any work that was ever done. It just had
Was it
brand new
from a
tires.
school?
It was from a school.
Yeah, so it was like government.
Yeah, government full.
Yeah.
So it was actually in really great shape for the most part. There's some rust because obviously it is a northern bus, but it was the perfect platform. We cut out all the seats, gutted the inside, turned it into an RV style, and have hardwood floors, full kitchen, a 50-inch wide bathroom with a 42-inch shower pan. So we designed the bathroom first, and then everything else came afterwards. And then we just made it fit off the bathroom.
You're very serious about this bathroom, by the way.
Oh, super serious.
Because that was your one, like, that was the only negative thing you said about an RV.
Yeah, that was the only negative because the beds, you're used to uncomfortable beds. Like that's easy. I sleep in hotel beds for work. I mean, that's not bad. But the bathroom, I got to be comfortable. You ain't on the throne.
Okay. And where are y'all located?
So Augusta, Georgia, mainly. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina now. Originally, I grew up in Augusta as well. I've just moved all around.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a new South Carolina resident. Loving it.
Yeah. And so I've lived for South Carolina, Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Mount Pleasant.
Where in Myrtle were you at?
Carolina Forest. So right around the street.
I know Carolina Forest.
Condos.
Yeah. I'm all the way up in Longs, if you know where Longs is. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Crab catchers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm off 9 and 905. So
nice.
Yep. I love it out here. But that's cool, man. You were just at Bristol, right?
Yep, just went to Bristol.
Okay. Do y'all go to Bristol every single year, or was this like a first time thing, or?
This was a first time thing. So we do the main tracks that we always go to no matter what is going to be Charlotte and Atlanta.
Deflating sleeping bags in the
What's
RV.
up, Ben? We go to Atlanta and Charlotte, both races for both of them, no matter what. That is a ironclad. We're going to it.
Why those two?
Yeah, only those two because Charlotte was the first race we started going to.
Okay.
And it was just the one that the kind of the friend group and everything built upon. So that's just that piece. And then Atlanta, because we like Atlanta. Atlanta's not too far either. It's a nice, we enjoy it. And it's also probably one of the easiest ones to get into if you're looking at infield camping because it's $300 for the site. And that includes 2 wristbands and 1 parking pass. A lot of these other places you go, it is nowhere near that price.
Damn.
Yeah. Daytona, those are some expensive boys.
Okay. Yeah. Because Talladega is like cheap as hell if you go the way we go. We do the free camping outside. We should get like a $30 ticket. So yeah, Dega for me is like always the cheapest race. But I've never camped inside.
It changes everything. Camping. So the other reason for why we stopped doing the seats was because again, I'm large, but also we don't really like people being just like sardine canned right there next to us. And when you can do an RV, which I've told Dakota and same for you, y'all come to one of the races we're at, come on down to the infield and enjoy the top of the bus life because you can sit there, stretch out, do whatever you want. You get too hot, you go downstairs. It's a fully air conditioned and heated bus. So you get too hot, you go downstairs. You get hungry, you go downstairs and make something, come right back up. It's just.
How was watching the race though? Because I've watched races from the infield plenty of times, and it's just I always just want to go back to the grandstands because I'm like, well, I can't really see everything. It bugs me.
So for most of them, you can see all the way around. Atlanta, from where we're at, so we're right there at turn 1.
Yeah, but then you're just like doing a 360.
Yeah, so you can do that 360 all the way around. It's not that bad because I can see, like I said, I can see clear across the track. Talladega, you can't see clear across the track. It's too big.
Yeah, and unless you're in the grandstands.
Yeah, you can see the whole thing. So you do have some give and take, but I get to be able to sprawl out. If I need to go to the bathroom, I'm right there. Everything is at the fingertips, plus the sound. The sound at Dega when they're going around, when you're on the infield, is insane because it's super loud. And then they go by you and they get to the other side of the track and it goes almost quiet. And then all of a sudden it's just like a lion roar that just gets louder and louder. It turns into a freaking locomotive that just blasts by you and then it repeats. It's hard to explain, but like you get goosebumps every single time they go around.
Yeah. I mean, do you watch a lot of races in the grandstands, or are you just mainly always in the infield?
So let's see, grandstands, Darlington way back in the day,
Okay.
Charlotte most recent, and Atlanta once.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm just so uncomfortable with it.
Okay. Yeah, not pristine enough bathrooms for you, right?
No, no. And then I sit there and gotta let one rip. You know it's gonna reverberate against that plastic, so you don't want to let it rip. See on the
Yep.
bus, it's just
Oh,
straight
definitely.
out to the infield. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How was Bristol? How was being in the infield on the bus in Bristol?
So obviously with Bristol, can't do the info camping. This one we actually did a hotel to actually save money and also headache because getting up into
In the mountains?
the mountains and everything around it, like it just was not something we wanted to push with the bus just to be there for 2 days. We only went up Saturday and came back on Monday. We didn't go for the practice that we pretty much figured was going to get canceled for Friday due to rain.
Yeah.
Uh, so it just there wasn't enough time. It didn't really make enough sense. So we got a hotel and we stayed up there for that. Uh,
Okay.
but it was freaking phenomenal. Definitely a different vibe. I know we'll kind of talk about a little bit later about whether it's coming back or not. So definitely a different
Yeah.
vibe the entire time I was there. But as far as being there and the activity and all the fun, I mean, it was phenomenal.
Okay. So it was like full regalia Bristol. They
Yeah, because you had Kenny Wallace and John Roberts doing basically their show again, right? And we're on the back side of the stage meeting all the drivers and even them before they ever go up on stage. So like we're sitting there like having fun with them, talking with them. Kenny's a hoot. Uh, Marcus Smith was there. Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick. All these drivers are coming through. We're talking with their golf cart drivers and them. It was just phenomenal
nice.
up to the race, and then the race itself was cold but good. The truck race was very cold and what felt very long, but it was only 2 hours.
Yeah, I heard. I heard. Did y'all stop at Michael Waltrip Brewery?
We did not. Our
Oh,
other buddy did, but we did
yeah.
not get to.
It's a lot of fun.
I've heard, and next time we go, definitely gonna try to hit that.
Although you said it was cold while y'all were up there, right?
Very cold. Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a big indoor area and it gets filled up quick. So you got to utilize a lot of outdoor space.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the later race is great when the weather's good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're talking about going back for September. We're slated for possibly the 7th race this year, which is more than we normally do.
Yeah, me and Dakota did that one year. I think we did like 9, and it was just like too much. It was
Yeah.
just we got to the point that we were like, what are we doing? Yeah, we keep trying to limit it every single year, but
Yeah.
it sounds like I'm already back to like 3 or 4 for this year, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it. I can't help it. Especially
It's
when you're friends with Dakota.
addiction, and it just keeps coming after you.
Yeah, and you're always like, "Well, no, it's fine. I'm not gonna go to many." But then, like, the year comes, and then especially when you have friends like Dakota, and he
Mm.
was like, "Hey, you're going to Daggett for sure." It's like, "Yeah, duh, I'm going to Daggett." He's like, "Okay, well, we got to run back Daytona." And it's like, "Okay, fine." And it's like, "Well, I'm going to Darlington. It's down the road, and like maybe Charlotte." And then he's like, "Hey, we should do Bristol again." And I'm like, "Oh shit, maybe we should." See, I'm like, "Fuck, there's like 5 races right there."
It's the addiction speaking. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a
understand.
problem.
Fully understand that one.
But I haven't got to watch Bristol Dirt live. I heard there was a lot of action that we missed on
Yeah,
TV.
so we didn't find out about that until afterwards. I was actually listening to Denny's podcast of the actions.
And by the way, Nick, I'm not going to fucking Martinsville. Don't even ask. I know you're about to ask me or some shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not adding another damn. I just bitched about how I got too many. So
it sounds like it's an invitation. I don't know.
Well, he was talking about it. Dakota was talking about it last week, and I was like, dude, stop. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's hard whenever you're doing so many of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we didn't find out till afterwards. TV did not see what we saw at the end of the race. Those last 10 laps of the race was basically rock and sock and robots. Like there was spin outs going on. I mean, I heard the McDowell they showed on replay, but we got to see it. He's trying. He's trying.
He's driving me to Dega, so that's why he's yeah, he actually lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina, so not far from us, kind of in between me and you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the last couple laps, it seemed crazy on TV, but I heard it was just kind of like what is that? Those derby cars where they just run into each other.
Bumper cars.
I heard it was just got crazy.
Yeah, so the last bit, like Michael McDowell did the 360 spin, which I heard they did the replay of on TV. But watching it coming off where he's spinning around with cars heading straight at him full speed, I know he had to change the Mondays. But he wasn't the only one. I mean, Denny spun. Brad was getting yelled at by the stands to just pull it in because
Brad was. Oh, yeah, I know Denny talked about in his show. He was like, "Hey, for anybody watching this on TV, like y'all didn't see shit."
Yeah, you didn't see anything. Like it was, there was at least 4 times that someone spun, and then when they spun, they're spinning out of turn 2. So basically, that back speedway is where they'd be sitting facing turn 2, and they would already be entering turn 1, and there still was no yellow flag. And then all of a sudden, you would just see them gun it, flip it around, and start going. And so they're barely just now accelerating when those cars are barreling off of turn 2 right behind them.
Yeah, and that happened a lot throughout the race. Even we saw that on TV. We saw some of the replays that they would show of them doing 360s without calling yellows. It's weird. It's bittersweet because I'm like, well, I appreciate them not stopping the race. I've been bitching about yellows all year. Like, I don't know. I can't really say much.
Well, I don't think they could see it because the track had slicked off a lot by that point.
Right.
And, dirt racing, once it starts to go off and all that dust is starting to kick up into the air from everything too, it was really, really dusty. Like, it was hard to see. So I almost wonder if they also couldn't see them as much. But I really think it's a time constraint thing where they were like, listen, unless there's like imminent problems, we're just going with it because we're already at 2 hours and I think
that's it. I think that's mostly it. They were probably telling crew chiefs and drivers or whatever, like, hey, if y'all spin, like, hurry up and turn it back around and keep going. Like, we're not throwing yellows right now. Like,
yeah, just go. Yeah. I mean, the only reason they called it for Ross at the end there was just because it was right in front of basically everybody, and they were going to get ran down. There was 2 cars on that one. But, Davenport spun. I don't think they showed the Davenport spin. I know they showed all the Larson incident, but basically once it got down to the end where it was that battle for Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, when they were going kind of back and forth and everything, focused on them and didn't show y'all any of the stuff we were seeing. And yeah, that was some really good racing, but the stuff behind them was chaos.
I like this comment from Junior. The 360s felt like NASCAR Heat 5 with the relaxed yellows being on. Yeah.
That's how it looked on the track.
Nick said, I thought very highly of NASCAR not throwing the cautions every lap. Yeah. And then they magically threw one with 10 to go. Yeah, whoa. Yeah, no, it was mayhem, and we're definitely going to talk about how long it stays on the schedule here in a minute. But something I wanted to mention, I know first and foremost the drivers were pretty pissed off with it being on Easter, and I discussed that last week a little bit. I'd be pissed off too. I think that's kind of bullshit. They run a really long season, back-to-back weekends for most of the year.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. Like on certain holidays, especially a sport that like prides itself in being so Christian,
Yep.
It's like, come on. That's like one day you're really supposed to take off. So
Yeah, and I
that
don't
was
feel
weird.
as bad for the drivers as I do for the teams. The drivers get paid a ton of money to do what they do, so I
Yeah.
don't feel bad for them. It's
Yeah.
like feeling bad for the NFL players whenever they got to play on Sundays. I don't feel bad for them. They make a ton of money, but the supporting staff and all those people that can't go back to their families, and this is a night race too, so it's not like, all right, cool, we'll still be home for Easter
Yeah,
dinner.
no, it's all day. Yeah, you're out there all day.
It's a whole day event. Now they didn't bring their full pit crews; they had mainly engineers and everything out there, which was pretty funny to watch sometimes because you see them do their non-competition pit stops, and you could tell these are not the guys. Luckily, they don't have to worry about how long it takes to get the tires on and off.
Yeah, well, that wasn't really a concern for this race anyway, so I understand not needing them. It would have been like, okay, who's the most like Christian NASCAR? Ty Gibbs, probably, right?
Yeah,
I'd say
yes.
now Ty Gibbs. That would how cool would it be if he was just like, you know what, I'm not racing. If the whole team was like, hey, we're that Christian, kind of
Yeah,
pulls a Chick-fil-A move where they go, we're just not open today.
we're closing it down.
Yeah, on this
Shut.
Sunday, we're done.
I don't think he has the huevos for that.
No, it would make me respect him a lot more.
Yeah,
I'd be like, damn, dude, that's a real ass Christian. He is not playing around.
yeah. He would need a wheelbarrows for the work for those, and he would still have to fit in the wheelbarrow
Yeah,
himself.
I mean, I'd start to respect him a lot more. And you know what? Even our Antichrist co-host Dakota would probably even respect that move. Yeah, I agree though. That it just kind of sucks. I wouldn't be happy about it. I know if my work was like, hey, you got to come in on Easter, I'd be fucking pissed. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
um,
just being there, I was like, man, I kind of wish it wasn't right now because, like, I get pictures from my wife where the kids doing Easter egg hunting, and I'm like, man,
yeah,
it's the
right.
hard
Okay,
working here.
I was
But yeah,
thinking that too. I was like, man, I leaving my family too on Easter is like that's I'm already having to like tell my wife why going back to Bristol is necessary. now add Easter Sunday to that. That's pretty tough sell.
yeah,
But
I didn't even
especially
realize. I had I forgot that this race was Easter weekend until like
nice.
3 weeks
I'm not
began.
your wife though. You don't have to tell me this story. I know that's what you told her, but it's no. But I think also it adds to the fact that like they haven't raced on Easter for the past couple years. And then to have to go back to it, I think that's the biggest bummer where it's like, damn, I thought we like had Easter off now. That was like a thing.
Yeah,
Um, but also something I thought was really interesting about this race, Ryan Preece after him and Kyle Larson are getting into it.
a lot,
And I think it was Larson's fault.
100%.
I don't know if anybody's surprised by that though. Larson just that's how he drives. And
Mm-hmm.
some guys will put up with it and some guys will not. And Ryan Preece
So,
just a week before, I believe, was bitching about how he wasn't going to put up with that shit anymore.
yeah,
So it was like perfect timing for this to all go down.
it,
And he
he
didn't put
was
up
the
with it.
CFG leader. He did not care. He did not want anything to do with people trying to push him around. And Larson, you're right. He will use you up.
That's what
And,
he does. That's his driving style. Hated
oh,
or loved it, but I mean, you kind of have to acknowledge, even if you're a Larson fan, you need to acknowledge this.
yep.
That's his style. If you want to be like that was Dale's style too, that's an argument. I'm just saying, if you're a
Yeah.
Larson fan, at least acknowledge that's the way he drives. I mean, it's
And
just it
that's
is.
like Andy is a huge Larson fan, and we talked about this when we were doing one of our things. And he was like, I got to stick up for my boy." And I'm like, "You can stick up for him all you want, but you know
But
that
just
makes it
yeah, like just admit it. Like he
yeah,
runs people down for no reason. Kyle Larson was just driving like a bozo after leading all that laps in stage one. Yeah, well, that's just what he just doesn't have. I think Denny mentioned it. He just doesn't have patience for people.
no,
And Denny's like, hey, I'm one of his best friends, but like I'll be the first to tell you, he will run you over because he doesn't have patience.
yeah,
And he gets mad, if people do it to him. That's just his driving style, man. I
that's who he
mean,
is.
and I don't know.
It's,
It is what it is. But regardless, they got into it.
no,
And the journalists and reporters afterwards when they were interviewing Ryan Preece, when I was
they,
watching it, and I guess you probably had to watch it afterwards, but when I was watching it live, I was just blown away with how they were just grilling him over and over. They were like, yeah, but like you meant to do it, right? And they're just like, yeah, but you wanted it to happen, right?
Yeah,
It
we
was
were-
just like the weirdest. Yeah, I was like,
it was
guys, he's not giving it to y'all. He's saying it, and Kyle Larson said the same thing. He was like, it's just a racing incident. We're racing hard. And then Priest is like, I don't know. Does he have a problem with me? I don't have a problem with him. Like,
we're good.
and the journalists are desperately trying to turn this into drama, which I appreciate. That's their job. I get it. It was just really funny and kind of cringy as I was watching it.
Yep.
And then I saw some people bringing it up on Twitter, which I think is a great point, was, of course, he's not going to say shit.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin, like just a week before, not even, I think it was like earlier this week or last week.
Thursday.
It
was a super late appeal.
He lost his appeal because he went on his podcast and said, yeah, I did it on purpose.
Yep.
Which we all knew he did then, and we all know Priest did now. And of course,
podcast.
You what?
But he won't admit to it on a podcast. One, he doesn't have a podcast, and two, he saw what happened to Denny.
Yeah,
he's not getting that race manipulation put on him.
Yeah. There's no way. They're playing good cop, bad cop. Yeah, like it'd be like somebody being like, "Hey, that was a pretty good run," and then Bob Pockrass would be like, "Kyle Larson said he fucked your mother." No, yeah, it was. Of course, he's not going to say anything,
Yeah, our president's has been set now.
It kind of sucks, It kind of sucks. No driver is gonna give honest answers anymore. They're gonna pull Kyle Busch and just.
Yeah, you can't give those good old school interviews. Those old Dale Earnhardt, Allison, all them, like whenever they used to give their things. Well, I'll get them back. We'll put them in the corner. You can't do that.
Yeah,
you're gonna get fined. You're gonna get points. And nowadays, points is everything, especially with the way it's set up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so that's so detrimental, especially to a guy like Priest. That'll completely kill his whole season if that happens to him.
Yeah, it's like Justin Haley. His season, man, is so much harder now because of that penalty to him.
Yeah.
And you look at the side of only one of his louvers being the one affected, and he's the one stuck with all the point loss. He has to win to get in. There no longer is any other option for him.
Right. Yeah. Not to mention monetary fines to teams like that. Really, I forgot whose podcast, maybe it was Junior's, was talking about how that is literally the plus or minus of the year for them.
I think it was DC, because I think they were talking about how it's a tiered thing, and the higher you place in points, the more money you can make off of it.
Maybe so that was it.
Like $100,000 to $200,000 swing for them.
I just listened to like all the Dirty Mo shit, so I always get them confused.
They just get all mixed in at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't ever keep track of those. Oh, perfect timing. Thank you. Can't ever keep track of which one is which, but I do know one of the shows was talking about how essentially, that's my child in the background. Essentially, that kind of fine, like let's say it's like $100,000 fine.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, that will make them in the negative this year because like that's the profit margin for one of those teams.
Small teams. Yeah, I mean that team does really good in Xfinity. They make a good bit of money from that because their Xfinity team is pretty on point. But the Cup team, they're the low Chevy team. I mean, they're a low Chevy team. They're not Spire, but they're still not these top of the
But
run.
even with them being dominant in Xfinity, like that's not bringing in all that much more money. You know what I mean? That's still not Cup money.
Nope, not Cup money.
So yeah, it's tough. I don't know. That was just kind of the things that I had written down for Bristol Dirt. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to discuss about it.
So I would say, the trucks being there and not having Xfinity, if they're going to keep it, I know we'll get to that shortly, but if they're going to keep it, I'd like to see everything there because the time was just so weird. Like,
well, I mean,
nothing to do so long.
We can talk about will they keep it if you want. We can just go right into it. I mean,
I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I guess first, do you think they will keep it for next year? Second, do you want them to?
So I don't think they'll keep it next year. I'll answer both of them first, and then I'll go into why. Because I don't think they're going to keep it for next year.
There was some guy flipping off Joey the entire race Saturday. Yeah, Dalton Good. That son of a gun.
But yeah, so I think they're done. And do I want them to come back? I think I want them to come back, but not in the way that a lot of people think. And I'll have to explain that in a little bit.
Okay.
But the reason why I think it's not coming back is when we were there, what we were hearing and seeing from everyone. These are people in the merch haulers. These are people running the campground parking lots next door. These are the people in the concession stands.
Okay.
This is the security at the gates.
This is bottom of the funnel. This is like as far away from the decision as you can possibly be and still be paid by this group.
Correct. And they were like, I hope you enjoyed your last time at Dirt.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's wild.
I go to the merch hauler on Saturday, so we're not even a Sunday. We go to the Bristol because they always have that one track specific hauler, and go there, and there's barely any Dirt stuff. There's shirts. They're already taking some off the wall. Damn, I grabbed the last Dirt Bristol flag they had.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Get that shit while you can. That's actually, you might have been at the last Bristol Dirt race.
It's highly possible.
Yeah.
And it's just from talking with them, listening to the racers. If anything, it's not going to be on Easter. I don't think it can be. And that's at least a piece of it.
Yeah. I agree with you on both. I agree. I don't think it's coming back. I didn't get to hear that from like the daily workers. That's really interesting piece to hear. I just know Denny said that there's less than 50% chance that he thinks it returns. And I'm like, well, shit. He probably knows what he's talking about. So yeah. I don't think it's coming back.
You look at the stuff that's going on around too. So the Nashville whole thing being approved, or I can't remember if it's actually already approved or if they're still voting on it, but they pretty much think it's getting approved. I really think that's going to take the date. I think it's going to take one track away.
Yeah, so that leads into this question I was just going to pull up by Nick. Do you think Bristol loses its spring race in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might. I think they know that they have attendance issues.
Yep.
The problem is I don't know enough about the contracts and ownership rights and stuff like that, because once you actually understand those things, that answers everything.
It still makes money. You got to remember, this is not just because of NASCAR, or well, kind of is, but it's not just for NASCAR. They also run modifieds. They also do all these other races they weren't able to do before on dirt that actually makes money as well. So you have to add that into the pot of how much money they're making on top of the tickets for the Bristol race. So it might be a lot higher than what a lot of us know.
No, yeah, definitely. That's a big part of it. The Cup Series, it's a funnel, right? And they bring in the most money, and then it trickles down to Xfinity, trucks, modifieds, ARCA, NASCAR routes, streaming services, advertisers. Like, it's this trickle down effect. You take away the Cup, you can take away some of the other ones and it doesn't matter as much, but you take away Cup and there's literally no more trickle down. This trickle down economics 101 for us dumb NASCAR fans.
Dude, once we run out of fingers and toes, we're pretty much out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Cup cars should be on dirt, period. And that's a good question. Should Cup cars be even on dirt? I mean, I know some drivers, Austin Dillon, my guy, said he loved it. He was like, I thought it was great action. Of course he loved it.
That's his best finish of the year so far.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is the best race all year. What are you talking about?
I love this place. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Kyle Larson, the GOAT of dirt, the dirtiest man I know. He thinks it's a bastardization, essentially, of dirt racing. And you know what? I gotta kind of agree with him there. What show was it? It was another Dirty Mo show. I got to keep giving credits to them for these points, but they were saying, like, you wouldn't want to see a 24 hours at Daytona car race on dirt, would you? Because these cars that they're driving now, this new stock car, is modeled much more like a sports car. And so it's just kind of like dumb that we're even racing them on dirt. It's just like they're not made for this.
Yeah, they don't have the suspension setup. They don't have the rigging, the frame. Like, everything is so different. I grew up going to dirt tracks. That's why I
Right.
like. So it was awesome for me because it brought me back to my childhood. And but I can see these cars. It's not the same racing. Even whenever you put the modifieds or you put the dirt cars on it, they don't even race the same there because the banking is completely different than a
Right.
regular track.
Yeah. It's
There's
not a
so
real dirt
much.
track. I mean, it's a make-believe dirt track.
Yeah, Davenport said it in his after interview where people were like, "Man, why you be so negative?" He wasn't being negative; he was being truthful.
No, Davenport
Those
had
cars,
the best
yeah,
post-race interview, like, by far. He said, "It's cool, it's different, it's a novelty," which, I mean, I think that term needs to be the description for NASCAR moving forward. Instead of, like, National Association of it should be Novelty Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, because that's what NASCAR has become. It's all novelty. But he said, "It's cool, it's different, it's novelty, but this ain't really true dirt racing. It's
yeah,
just something different." And then I think he said it was like, "This is just for show,"
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
All great points, by the way.
yeah.
He's a dirt racing legend. For anybody listening that doesn't
Super
understand, this
two
guy's
million
like, you what?
$2 million last year he made on dirt.
Yeah, he won the Eldora Million. I mean, he's like Kyle Busch of of late models on dirt. The dude is a fucking legend. He's the current goat. I know they say Kyle Larson is the goat of dirt, but like you put him in late models. I'm probably picking Davenport for that.
100%.
Yeah,
That Davenport is super talented when it comes to it. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. You got to listen to him. And
yeah.
he was one of the drivers we got to talk to before they went up on the stage.
Ooh, that's cool.
And I asked him, I was like, "Do you like the car? Or do you like the truck better?" And he's like, "I feel more comfortable in the car." And I go, "Yeah." I mean, you could see it because in the heat races, he did really good in the car. In the truck, that race, he was not looking too fancy in.
I mean, it's a wild vehicle to run.
Yeah, and so I mean, the car was where he wanted to be at, but even with it, it doesn't get the rear end bite off the turn. You don't get the banking and come off. You can't slip out the rear end as much as you can in those other cars. So it's set up different. So we talked about novelty, and that's where it kind of comes back into my head about my second answer, where I was like, I
Yep.
do want it to come back, but in a different form.
Yeah.
I want it to be a novelty race. I want it to be the Clash.
On
No
dirt.
points on dirt. No points. Exhibition race on dirt, Bristol.
You know what? Before we go any further, this is a great. I actually have a topic that I want to discuss for this episode, and it relates 100% to this. But before we move on to that, because that will be moving on, I want to do the race rating
Okay.
because this is a great segue to the next topic. Actually, race rating. Dakota sent me his.
Okay.
He gave it a 5.0. Which I'm kind of surprised by. I thought he was going to give it something higher because we were texting and he was talking about how he enjoyed it and stuff like that. A 5.0 is, I mean, that's as low as Las Vegas for Dakota. I don't know if
Oof.
he's aware of this, but yeah, he's putting it down there pretty low. Granted, I gave Vegas a 4.7, so that's even better.
Yeah,
I don't
Vegas.
know. I thought that was a little low. I do agree with him that we don't. I guess I agree with him. Disagree with you that we don't need to go back here for a dirt race. I'm not going to go as low as a 5.0. I think I'm going to go a. I'm going to go a 5.9. I'm going to go 5.9.
Okay. I'd say.
That's what I gave Phoenix, by the way. So this is comparable to Phoenix for me.
Okay. I would say this is somewhere in. For me, I would say it's like a 6.4, 6.4, 6.5.
And I know why. It's because you were there.
Because I was actually there, and that's the thing. Like it, the trucks was like a 1.2, but the cup cars,
which is crazy because trucks are usually so awesome.
So awesome. It was not.
Yeah.
It was the longest race. They need to figure out if they're going to do non-competition and not count the laps for cautions. Don't do stages because that was grueling. But for cup race, for being there, the dirt, everything to me, I give it a 6.4, 6.5.
Okay. There you go. We're all kind of middle of the road. Not great, but above average. Or
Yeah.
I guess Dakota literally thinks it's average. Um, segueing into the next topic, which you perfectly wrapped up in your last point. This was a question from Dirty Mo Live. What would you rather not see return? And this is the novelty races. Chicago Street, which we haven't even gone to yet, but you might hate it. Me and Dakota hate it so much that, I mean, if Dakota was on here, he would probably be choosing that. Bristol Dirt, another novelty race. Indy Road Course. We're counting that as a novelty just because it's bullshit. Like Indy should be Indy. And then the Coliseum. What would you want to see not return? The others have to return. You're getting them again next year. You can only lose one.
If I can ever choose a track to never return to, it's Texas. But since you're giving me parameters, I'll stick within the parameters.
Yeah, you got to stick within the parameters. I'm not making it that easy for you. I know everybody would choose Texas. It's the worst goddamn race.
Oh, it is terrible. It's such a bad.
Yeah. But we were discussing this before. I mean, I do think that you kind of just need to wear it in now at this point. You got to just,
if I keep
maybe we take it off the schedule for a couple years, but NASCAR still pays people to just run laps out there to try to wear it down.
Something. Just give a whole bunch of college kids like, hey, here's $10. Go run your car all the way around as many times as you can. If you wreck, okay, we don't care.
Yeah, University of North Texas is like right down the street from the track. That'd be for UNT. Get those kids, get them all drunk, have them run around that laps.
There we go. Perfect time. Maybe it'll be actually good racing for once.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Chicago street race. Yeah, see, we haven't even ran there. I think a lot of people would choose that. But other than Texas, what are you going
back much anyway? Because obviously they have a new elected official anyway. So I think they're going to run this first year, and I don't know if it's coming back or not.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. A lot of people are saying it's probably not going to happen.
I think I have to choose that one. If we're going out of those parameters, Chicago is just, we're trying to be what we're not. This is a blue collar ground up. We used to run moonshine. That's what started this. This isn't F1. This isn't that hoity toity stuff. I mean, the ticket packages, there's already talks about some of the sky top places around where the track's going to be at, how much it's going to charge for the experience.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, it's not what NASCAR.
It's the antithesis of NASCAR. In fact, I would say.
Yeah, so if I have to eliminate one, it would be that, for that sole reason of it's just not NASCAR.
To be fair, I think that's more of what NASCAR is now, which is sad.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I agree 100% with you. It is sad. It's funny. Jeff Gordon, the reason he was a NASCAR driver was because IndyCar, was too snobby.
Yeah.
And they didn't know him. He didn't have a name from a driver. He didn't have enough money. And they were like, no, who the hell are you? Get out of here. And, France is like, hey, dude, we'll find you a ride.
Come on down.
Yeah, that's what was great about NASCAR is anybody could do it. Yeah, let's see. Don't you know that's how we engage new fans? Just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Nick, trust me, does not think that. Yeah, and it's something that Denny talks about is just like, if all we care about is novelty racing now, it's not gonna prolong fans. You're not gonna keep fans by doing that. Novelty is a one-off thing. It's only popular because people are talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah, alienating the fan base and even the drivers. A lot of drivers don't like it either.
No, yeah, I know. A lot of them aren't happy with this direction. And this is a tough question because the Coliseum, it's been better than I initially gave it credit for. It's been better than I thought it would be, but I'm over it. I'm like, okay, let's move on. Like, I really don't want to see another one.
Yeah.
Indy Road Course drives me crazy because it's not a great race, and the only way I want to see us at Indy is at the actual Brickyard. Otherwise, like, what the hell are we doing there? That's stupid.
100%.
Bristol Dirt, I don't want to see it again because it covers up one of the best tracks we have on the schedule with dirt. It's not a real dirt track. If we really want to go dirt racing, there's like, let's go to Eldora. There's like some great dirt tracks that we can actually go to. Yeah. And I don't really care to see these new next gen cars on dirt. It's just, I'm kind of like, Honestly, at this point, they race better at road courses, and I don't even like road courses, but it's just the honest truth.
It's better this year. I mean, we haven't seen too much racing, so the package, the new downforce package for road course and short track,
Yeah,
we haven't seen a whole bunch. But I do agree, Bristol, non-dirt Bristol is the best Bristol. I will not.
yeah,
There will not be an argument for me whatsoever there. I really think if we're talking about novelty racing, I'm tired of the Clash 2. So my thing is, I would rather watch Bristol on dirt as an exhibition race, no trucks, no Xfinity, literally just Cup cars, than I would the Clash itself.
yeah. So, like I said, I have issues with all of these, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I hadn't even decided on this question before we started talking. I just wrote it down. And I got to agree with you. The Chicago Street Course, we haven't even ran there, which sounds ridiculous. Like, I know I sound like just some fucking ignorant, pissed off fan. We haven't even ran their Rattlesnake.
You
Let's
darn
see how
right.
it plays out. Hell, Coda was a great race this year, and I always said that was going to be terrible. Granted, I think that's because the cars now. I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it. If I see it, especially if it's halfway decent, then I know NASCAR is done. Like, because it's just like, then this is not the sport I grew up watching. This is
Nope.
not the sport I thought I was watching. I'm watching sports cars. That's
Yeah.
what I'm watching. They're not stock cars, they're sports cars. And they
Yeah.
race at novelty tracks. And that's all this has become.
Yeah. The
And
next
it's
thing,
sad.
NASCAR's coming to Disney World. We're gonna race around the theme park.
I
We don't
mean,
want
if it's a circle track, I wouldn't be against it at this point.
you ain't lying.
Is this a short track? Because I'm interested.
So we just going around Epcot and that's it. Just right around the circle. Okay. We can do
And it's a half mile. You said it's a half mile?
half mile. We got good. Okay.
And you're giving discounts? I can go to Disney World for I
Do the
mean,
cars get ears? Yeah,
I
no.
mean, dude, we might be onto something. We might need to talk to NASCAR. They love Florida.
Next
You
big
know,
thing.
Ron DeSantis might support this. They can get him on board.
Yeah.
He can threaten Disney with some more tax violations or some shit. Yeah, I think we've just figured out a great. I mean, yeah, the Mickey Mouse League. That is literally what it will become.
Exactly.
So, okay, so I think we're in an agreement here about Chicago Street Course. Nobody wants to see it. I don't know who this is for, but it's not for NASCAR fans, which is something that could be the slogan for NASCAR over the past 3 years. I don't know what this is, but it's not for NASCAR fans. Is the perfect way to sum up every decision they've been making, except for North Wilkesboro. That's the one thing
that everyone wants.
and I think they only gave it to us just because they knew we were about to riot. I think they were just like, fuck it, let's give it the thing they've been asking for.
I agree. Because everyone was like, no one wanted the All-Star to be at Texas ever again. I mean, no one wants anything at Texas, but no one wanted that happening. And so they were like, how do we bring back a little bit? Well, let's give them North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it stupid expensive. That way we even it out.
By the way, there used to be a Walt Disney World Speedway back in the day. I remember that. I swear I knew when we were talking about it, I was going to say that, but I was like, I'm going to sound stupid. But I do remember that was a thing. But yeah, it was definitely North Wilkesboro was the one, the bone they were throwing to us saying, all right, we know we've been fucking with you all a lot lately. We've been pretty much trying to push you away as hard as possible, and you're still here. Here's North Wilkesboro. And like you said, we'll make it absurdly expensive just to even that out because we can't give you something that you want for free.
And it's one thing that I've been talking about for a while. I really think NASCAR for All-Star races needs to adopt a legacy track approach. Bring Rockingham, then switch it in with North Wilkesboro, then switch it in.
You know what? Hold on. Pause. You keep organically creating these segues to the next question so perfectly because what you're saying actually is my next question. So with Chicago Street off, we both agreed that's the one we're removing. All right.
Yeah.
So we still have the Coliseum, we still have Indy Road Course, and we still have Bristol Dirt. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But we have to replace Chicago Street Race with something.
Yeah.
Out of these tracks, which one are you replacing it with? And then here's the options. Okay. Kentucky, Chicagoland, Indy Oval, so the Brickyard,
Brickyard.
Rockingham, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Iowa?
To me, this is an easy answer.
Okay.
And it's just because of when I grew up watching NASCAR.
Are you going to say Rockingham?
No, I'm going with Brickyard, 100%.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking because you were closer to Rockingham, but Brickyard makes,
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's something about that track and the way that, I don't like how NASCAR divorces tracks.
Give me the Rock, baby. Yep.
Rock is a great one. I think it is coming back. From what I've seen, I do think it's coming back. Now, what track it represents? If it's replacing Chicago Road, I'm going in the Brickyard. I have to replace it with that. I think that Rockingham can replace Texas. Anything can replace Texas, but
they're not getting rid of Texas, right?
I need them to.
There's way too much money tied into that track. They will never get rid of it. I know NASCAR fans want it to happen. It won't happen. I do not see it happening. There's so much money in that market. They're not.
We just need somebody, that big old bulldozer that they welded all those steel plates to and drove it through the whole town, wherever that was. Just somebody do it to Texas. Just head on down.
Demolish it. Yeah, we got an Iowa, and Brickyard should come back no matter what. So you know what?
I agree with you.
So okay, how about this? Let's take Brickyard off. Let's say it's coming back no matter what. Now you get Kentucky, Chicagoland, Rockingham, Canadian, or Iowa.
In that case, I think I do go Rockingham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I agree with the Brickyard. Because these are just the answers I pulled from their podcast. So that's why I wrote these down. Yeah, I agree with the Brickyard, but we're removing that because that's kind of too obvious. There's good things about all of them, Kentucky, Chicagoland. Hell, you're taking away that Chicago street course. That'd be a natural fit. Kentucky, had some good races, and that's a great track that's still just sitting out there right off the interstate. You can see it when you drive up through there. Rockingham, for obvious reasons. Also selfish reasons. I live pretty damn close to Rockingham. That'd be great to have another fucking track down the road.
Yeah, it ain't that far. That's nice.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Like, that would be really nice to have that. I mean, I think it's under 2 hours from here. So that'd be great.
Let me flip that question on you a little bit real quick. If you had to replace Chicago with another road course that we no longer run.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me answer the first one, but I do like that question.
Okay.
Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, not a bad one just because you're up in Canada, but I don't need another road course, which kind of answers your next question. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Iowa. I think I'm going to agree here and go Iowa. Iowa's been one that I've been saying NASCAR needs to go to for years.
Iowa train.
You what?
There's a lot of people on the Iowa train that they
I mean, it's honestly a great track. It has a big grandstand, so the capacity's good. And it's in an area that really needs more NASCAR races. The Midwest, those corn-fed motherfuckers love racing. I used to live in South Dakota. They love dirt racing, and it's a big racing community in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And it's just NASCAR needs to hit it harder, I think. And I've always said that. So I think I would go Iowa. Kentucky now holds defective 4 trucks. I heard about that.
Yeah.
But I also heard that they got cleared out, that they're not doing that anymore. So I don't know. I've heard different things. I heard recently that they're no longer doing that. So, okay, let's move on though to your other question was what's the road course? Do you have an answer for this? Is that why you're asking? Are you prepared for?
Yeah, for me, it's Road America.
Yeah, that was going to be mine as well. I figured we were both going to agree on this. That's why I asked.
I didn't like where it's going. It's same for me for Fontana. I still can't believe they sold off the land for Fontana. Sell off the land for Texas. Make it a short track. Leave Fontana the way it was. Bring back Road America.
Yeah, I agree with all those moves. Yeah. Road America only because I want to go to a race there on 4th of July.
Agreed.
It sounds badass. I just heard incredible things, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't get to enjoy that.
The 2 tracks I've heard that I want to go to for a NASCAR race, one was Road America, the second one's Michigan.
It was
I've
what?
heard Michigan. Michigan's the
I've
second.
heard Michigan so much. Yes. I've
So
heard people say it's the Dega of the North.
I've heard people say it's crazier than Dega, which
There's
I've been to
no
Dega. You've been to
uh-uh.
Dega.
I'm sorry.
Dega
I'm
Boulevard.
sorry. I'm gonna have to call bullshit. I've never experienced Dega. That's kind of like okay, I've never had Mexican food in London. Okay? I haven't. I haven't had it in Scotland. But I can assure you that Mexican food in Texas is better than England. I know it without having to experience it. I know it,
Yeah,
and so I just know that Michigan can't be better than Talladega. I don't need to experience it to know it. I just know it.
I gotta find
But
out.
that's not knocking Michigan. I have heard it's incredible. It's on my top 5 tracks I need to visit. But come on, it can't be better than
I
Dega.
I've heard some crazy stories. I've heard that it is out there. I mean, I've been to Dega Boulevard at night. I know what's going on
Yeah.
there. You know what's going on out there. But I've heard Michigan is up there or more.
There's the or more. I can't. I'll never believe the up there. Sure, there's other tracks that are up there.
Daytona.
4th of July should be reserved for Daytona Pepsi 400. Damn right. Some great memories. Yeah, we talked about it on the pod, like the races that you have to go to. Daytona 500.
100%.
I
Coke 600 at least once.
the Spring Dega.
Spring Dega. Okay.
Specifically Spring Dega. That's the crazy one. Bristol Night. Yeah, Coke 600, which is one that I haven't been to. That is one.
About it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's my number one on my list of I need to go to. So, but Michigan is I think 3 or something like that. It's up there.
Yeah, Michigan's up there for me. I really want to go to Miami Homestead. I want to go to Sonoma, and I want to go to Michigan.
Miami just needs to go back to being the only race you get of the year is the championship race. That was the best. I loved that. And I know people were hammering for it to change when they changed it. Because it's funny now, people don't bring that up. But I specifically remember people being pissed. They're like, it's time for a change. We need something else. And I just remember being like, no, there's so much other shit we could change. I liked what we had with Homestead being the only race was the championship. And so every year they're like, oh, Kyle Larson's going to be, up there, because he was good at Homestead, even though he never won. He was supposed to be the best.
Like him on Dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like him on Bristol Dirt. What is the best race to go to in a school bus?
In a school bus? So only speaking of the ones that we've been to.
Yeah.
You would think the answer would be a clear cut like a Daytona or a Dega, but it really isn't.
I thought for sure there'd be a clear cut.
It's up there as one that you have to do, a memorable track. But
I will say for the 100th time, Charlotte Motor Speedway should be the championship race. Keep the Coke 600 and finish the season at home. Yeah, I actually have heard this as well. I've heard this from multiple people. I don't hate this idea either. Yeah, get rid of the Roval altogether. I would love that.
And we went to the inaugural.
You're about to get me canceled, dude.
Sorry. Inaugural race. The initial.
Yeah.
What the world my mind was doing there. Holy wow.
You almost pulled a Kyle Larson. You stopped yourself. I'll give you that.
My words were all just my head went ADD on me. Thinking numbers.
Stop reading off my texts on the fucking live stream, dude. That's not cool.
Golly, now I don't even remember where I was at. I just bombed myself.
You were hoping I was going to ignore it, but I wasn't going to ignore it. I wasn't going to let you go.
So maybe we're just going to pass right over. No.
All right, bus, the best track for a bus. You said it's not clear cut.
It's not going to be a Daytona. Now, if it's trackside Daytona and you can pony up the money for it, I really think it would be it.
Okay, so if you are trackside anywhere with the bus, Daytona's number one.
Yeah, if I'm trackside, it'd be Daytona. Well, 100%. If money was not the answer, didn't care. There where I'm going.
Got it.
Other than that, I have to go with Atlanta. It's been so much fun in Atlanta. Charlotte's great, but I don't know what it is about Atlanta where we're right up against the turn.
I know what it is. It's all the drugs you're on for saying Atlanta's the best. I want whatever shrooms you're taking at Atlanta,
Bro,
man.
so in Atlanta, we are 2 spots away from a guy that does a full DJ booth. They have like 6 spots they rent out. And so you can people watch, and this is NASCAR people watching at night after a full day of drinking. So
I didn't think Atlanta like threw down at all.
Oh, dude, they throw down, and it's in
Because
our.
I go to Atlanta like every single year, but I just stay at Dakota's because he lives, like 10 minutes from the track.
Yeah, y'all don't get to see the fun. I'm telling y'all, come out to the bus, come up on the roof, and you can.
I mean, maybe I will now. Now that you're like telling me it's the best one, like now I'm interested.
You can see clear cut around the entire track. You lose them for one minute piece right there after start and finish, and that's it. You see them the rest of the way.
How's the banking look from like down looking it up?
It's you're looking at a wall, and you're looking straight from on top of the bus. You're looking dead straight into the center lane of Atlanta. So it's like when they're coming around, you're looking what would be the top of their head, basically, as a perfect vantage point. And it's just when they go by, you're that close. You feel it in your body. Atlanta has to be, for me, has to be that one. I won't.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Okay. So, a hot topic we got to talk about before we wrap it up. Cody Ware. It was on the thumbnail, so I got to discuss it. I don't know how much there is to discuss. I think everybody kind of knows what's going on, or at least knows as much as us. What I've read, Cody Ware was arrested for felony assault by strangulation and released on a $3,000 bond.
He has 2 charges. Felony's 1. He also has misdemeanor assault on a female, so he has both charges against him.
Okay, interesting. And who'd they say? Zane Smith is filling in, right?
Zane Smith is filling in, which I am extremely excited about.
Dude, Zane Smith is a better driver than Cody Ware.
But will they?
I think there's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade, but are they going to let him actually drive it, or is it going to be a this is what we do at Rick Row Racing? We sit in the back.
That's the thing.
We finish. That's all we care about. Just finish.
I wouldn't even want to take that ride if it's offered to me, just because it's such a detriment to even take. But Zane Smith, for anyone that doesn't know, he's only raced 3 cup races. His first cup race was 2022, so it was last year.
Yeah,
at Gateway, which was a good race for him to start at. The car started 32nd and he finished 17th. So great day for a kid that never races cup. And then he's raced at Daytona and Phoenix this year, started 17th and finished 13th. And then at Daytona, he did really well there. And then Phoenix started 34th and finished 31st. Either way, he doesn't get worse. He makes progress in his cars.
No, he's doing great. I think him, Chandler Smith, you got some big names in Xfinity right now that I think eventually are going to be great. DNF strangulation.
DNF strangulation. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the craziest part of the story, for anyone that doesn't remember, back in 2021, so a couple years ago, Carson Ware, the fucking little wankster kid with the bleach blonde hair and the face tats. I mean, just the funniest looking character. And we talked about it a couple years ago on the show. Carson Ware was also arrested for 3 misdemeanors, including assault on a woman, simple assaults, and damage to personal property. NASCAR, actually, I just found this out last year. NASCAR lifted his suspension.
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was beginning of last year. I can't remember exactly when.
I think it said like July or something. Yeah, I was looking it back up to find like the report or whatever to see what he's arrested for, and I read that they lifted the suspension. I was like, whoa, shit, I didn't know that, because that would have been hilarious if Carson would have filled in for Cody.
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
That would have been hilarious.
That would be hilarious, but oh man, they would just wonder what the sponsor would be. Just, wife beater.
Well, at this point, I mean, at this point, who is sponsoring them anyway? Like, come on, their last name is on the team name, and they're both arrested for beating women. Like, dude,
I get the differences in his brothers from back in 2021 to this one, but still, man, like,
I mean, I guess it wasn't his wife or girlfriend or whatever. It was a crew member's
chief's wife who got in the middle to try to break it up.
Yeah,
but you still don't lay the hands.
Still, dude, they're both arrested for assaulting women. Essentially, we can just wrap it up like that. I think the best move for Rick Ware at this point is pivot and buy an NFL team instead of NASCAR. Because NFL loves this type of stuff. Like, they're all about beating wives and stuff. So I think Rick Ware would actually do really well in the NFL because clearly he raises his sons, with that mentality.
Well, and we already know who the perfect person to sell his whole racing thing to. I mean, Junior Motorsports needs it. Go ahead.
There we go. And then we have a competitive small team that would be much better than what we have. Nobody's ever liked Rick Ware Racing. Like, they've just kind of been a sore eye, like a sore spot for NASCAR because we know what they're doing. Like, it's just it's unfortunate that the business is set up to allow people to, run their business like this because that's all they do. They just run the cars, don't wreck them, and collect a check. That's what they're there to do. And Denny's talked about on his show before, like, that's kind of how the business is now. If you actually want to compete, you're going to be losing money.
If you got a charter and you want to make money, they're doing it the way to make money. But it's not a good product. It doesn't make a great product.
Well, they make enough for bail, apparently. So, the Ware Racing crime family, 30 for 30 coming soon, I hope. One day, because this is just insane. I need a documentary about this family. Like, what the hell goes on in the background?
Has to be.
I mean, how many people do you know both brothers have been arrested for beating women? Like, we all know some people, it's like, oh yeah, his brother got locked up again because he's that one in the family that's always out fighting and shit. Both brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. 100% at this point, I gotta look at Rick. Sorry, bud. I think as a father, I'm pointing my finger right at you.
I'm just saying, apples don't just grow off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not too worried about having any of the Ware family members on the show anytime soon. So I'll say what everybody's thinking. But moving on, that's the Cody Ware situation. To wrap up the episode, Martinsville, it's coming. Unfortunately. We're going back to Martinsville. I just don't care, honestly. I'm going to Talladega next weekend. That's all I'm thinking about.
It's hard. Whenever you're going to the next race, it's hard to focus on the one.
Especially Dega. Like,
Dega's a fun race.
It's like you're going to Dega. That's I don't know. It's like when Darlington comes up, I get excited about it. Darlington's fun, especially for the throwback stuff. But it's Dega. That's all I can. That's all. I was picking out hats to wear for the episode. And I almost grabbed the Talladega hat, but I was like, one more week. Yeah. So
don't want to season it too early.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much you want to say about Martinsville. I just personally, I'll talk about it next week. I don't care. I'm just gonna make picks, but unless you have like something that you're like, ooh, I got this exciting thing about Martinsville.
No, I really don't have much for Martinsville. It's one of those tracks that I'm just like, I'll go to one day, but it's not like it's not a top 10.
Exactly. It's on my list. Like I said, it's on my top 5 list. I gotta go. I know. I'm just not that excited for it. And watch it be like one of the best races of the year. Now that I said that,
probably.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's always how it works for me. Well, let's do picks then.
Okay.
Dakota sent me his.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and we don't like to pick the same people. Okay. I guess there's technically not like a rule against it. We just kind of try to avoid it. So if you want to pick,
I got you.
If you want to pick the same people, you can, but we'll just all make fun of you behind your back.
Big bat.
Daytona. Dakota his picks, his underdog is Brad K.
Okay.
And as a reminder, for underdog picks, they can't be playoff drivers. And
Okay.
his lock of the week is Byron, which I don't know how I feel about that, but watch, he'll probably be right the second I doubt him. I'm gonna go underdog Martin Truex Jr.
Okay.
So I just snagged like the best non-playoff driver. Sorry.
Yeah, you did. You
Yeah.
did. You literally saw like.
Well, that's why I had to hurry up and say it because I was like, I know he's gonna fucking say it.
I got another one.
Underdog Brad K. Winner Kyle Busch. Yeah, those are good picks.
Good picks.
Yep. What do you got? What do you got for an underdog? And then we'll go to locks.
I'm gonna get some heat, but I'm gonna go Bubba Wallace underdog.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Toyota's done good at this track before. Obviously, Christopher Bell won it last year for the last race at the end of the year. I believe it was last year. It might have been the year before. No, it was last year. So Toyotas are fast. I think Denny is going to be on a tear. So I want to say Denny, but
well, this is for underdogs.
Yeah, for underdogs, I can't put Denny in there because I don't consider Denny an underdog. But
well,
Bubba,
and they can't have made the playoff.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bubba.
So was Bubba not in the playoffs?
I don't believe so. He's 24th in points right now.
Yeah, I don't think so because his win didn't come until later in the season last year, right? What was his win? Kansas?
I'm trying to remember exactly where it was.
I think it was Kansas. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll let you have Bubba, even if he was or was not. I can't even remember. That's how memorable Bubba is. Okay, locks. Let's see. Who do do you want the lock pick first, or you want me to take it first? Since I took underdog first.
I don't know what happened there. It all went black for a second.
Oh yeah. Whoa, shit.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take my lock. I'm going to go with Denny.
Okay. Damn it. That was actually, I have it written down as my lock. So, you know what? We got one and the other. Oh, shit. All right. Well, I keep losing them. That sucks.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Okay. I was going to say, I know he's at a hotel. So, oh, shit. Yeah. We'll see if this.
There we go. I think it's back.
That's hotel Wi-Fi, man.
Man.
Well, we'll wrap it up real quick. I'm just going to. I'll take. Shit, man. I'll take Joey. I wanted to take Denny just because I know he mentioned on his show that he's officially going on a tear starting at Martinsville.
Okay.
So, damn it, David. Yeah.
I know. First, I say the word, and then now.
Well, this is something that Dakota does every single week. So I'm used to my co-host doing this, so it's okay. Dakota does it every week way worse than you've done it, so don't worry. And so, damn it, Dakota has become a thing. We're going to sell shirts eventually.
There you go.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. David, feel free to stay on after the intro and we can chat.
All right.
But thanks for coming on, man. Any like shout outs for Fascar Living, like where people can follow you, if y'all do like podcasts, posts, give them the whole spiel.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, TikTok is our main thing. We've been running.
Right when he gets to do his whole spiel, of course.
Is it back? Okay, I'm back. It's something about the late night Wi-Fi here. So TikTok is our main one. Definitely hit that up. We do live events at the racetracks that we go to, and then when we're not at tracks, we do news. I do usually a daily news update of things that are launching or just a thought moment. That one's real fun. Now YouTube, we do a race recap on Mondays at 7:30 on YouTube, as well as just general content from.
Do you do it live or pre-recorded?
We do live as well. Ours is live as well. We do it full straight off count, similar to this, but definitely not as pro grade. And then Instagram photos that we take at the track. So I mean, just basically any social that's out there, we're there. Hit it up.
Yeah, I just followed y'all's Insta, and it's pretty sick because you have so much like at-track content and stuff.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely everybody check out their socials. Is it all Fascar Living? Is that like
Every
the tag
single
for all
one.
of them?
We got lucky and nothing was taken, so Fascar Living across everything. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
not no weird characters to make it work. It works for all. And I will say the one that you have to stop by is definitely the lives. We had 2 races straight now where we hit over 1 million likes during the live. So it's a fun time.
Like you do live at the race?
At the racetrack.
Oh, that's tight. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, well, we definitely need to do something together at a racetrack. Like, hopefully, we can set something up to where we can watch a race with you on your bus.
Yeah.
We can join in on your live.
Yeah.
Just have a good time.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Hopefully, next week we have Dakota. No promises, though. All right. Peace.
Peace.